Good afternoon. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for the team, Asif, and the entire team. We can still do it better. Carrying the pride of a HR community is something phenomenal. Once again, a huge round of applause for the fraternity. I know it's very difficult. I go back to my college days 20 years back when there used to be sessions like this. We'll have leaders from, I know Sony will remember, when we have leaders from different walks of life from corporate world to college, when they visit our campus, our HOD used to say, whether you like it or not, keep a smiling face. Whether you are understanding or not, yes, dress neatly with 45 degree of high temperature in Chennai, non-AC classroom. We used to wear black pant, white shirt, red tie as a hotel server, right? Still we used to do all this. But today when I look back, when I visit students or young leaders across the country, and that is not the state today, right? When we visit young Gen Z, what we are talking about, what we are about to share, it is our choice to choose the organization. It is our choice to listen to guest lectures. It is our choice to decide whether I have mood to work today, right now, or just bunk, go and watch India-Pakistan match. Yes? Yeah. So now we have very interesting topic, next generation talent, rethinking hiring strategies for Gen Z. Before getting into the theme, I would like to have one fire chat question to every panel member, because whenever we prepared so much with question, Asif helps us. I think it is very, very important that we should keep our speakers on spotlight, giving some very hard questions so that comes straight from their heart and from their journey, from their experience. Let's start from, I think, women first. Next time, let's have very good diversity, Asif, if you don't mind. Women first, over to you. Lakshmi, be very frank, be open. Apart from the organization, what you carry, from your personal experience, from your professional journey, we are in 2025. When you hear the word Gen Z, right, what is your initial thought? Maybe 60 seconds.
Hi, good afternoon. So when I hear the word Gen Z, the first word that comes to my mind is curiosity. Because I feel that they're a curious bunch of lot. The questions that we've not asked are being asked. And then of course there are a lot of characteristics we can find out about Gen Z, but I think they're a very curious lot to know how they connect to the larger picture, and they want to know the why behind the what all the time, which I think will make them tick also. So I think curiosity is the word that comes to me. And if I can say another phrase, if you don't
Please.
mind, I would also look at them as a breath of fresh air, right? I think positively disruptive, totally for this generation.
Amazing. Curious, yes. I go back to my kid, who is just 4 years. She's very curious. She would like to understand what, life is all about and what school is all about and so on. Next.
Hi, I am Hemant. Thanks for inviting us. When I heard this first word, I was thinking, who is part of this target audience? Am I there?
Hope you can see some Gen Z here. No?
And yeah, I mean, those who are like 18 years or less, I think that's the qualifier. 2003, 2000s, date of birth. 2000s, last 20 years, you are less than 25. I don't know what the target audience here. But
No, we can define the definition.
So then I was
sir.
looking at, leave the number of years. What's the characteristic that makes someone Gen Z? Then I was looking 18, 20 years, 8 to 9 companies I've hopped. Do I qualify? Because, the purpose is important. The way she said, why we are doing what we are doing is important. 2 generations back, my parents used to earn because we had to have the basic in place. You have to have a nice home, nice car, the first color TV to watch Ramayana or Mahabharata of that world. to that generation wherein we have good swanky houses and car, hopefully, to the generation who doesn't bother about money. They will ask, they don't even ask, they have it. I mean, they have the iPad or the Word and all those things. So they basically go for their, even bachelors to US now. If you see your MDs and, ADs, their kids are going at 18 abroad to experience the world. And at 10 years, 12 years, they're traveling across the places for their summer vacation. So money is in abundance. So that's not the primary denominator or the motivation factor. So what is it that motivates them? I think I was searching for that answer. I'm still searching.
Interesting. Yes, Gautam.
I'll tell a short story if it is
Please
okay.
do.
Okay, I was doing a road trip in Iceland in last week, and my nephew joined. He's a Gen Z, and we rented a car, and he's driving at a speed of around 120 kilometers, approximately 90 miles an hour. And at some point, he says, I can hear a hissing noise from the back door at a speed of 120. We said, okay, shall we stop? He said, no, I can do it while I'm driving. And we opened the back door and we realized there's a pebble which is stuck because there are a lot of gravel roads in Iceland. And I said, wow, fantastic. What knowledge and expertise this guy has. He's just 23, 24. And we packed our bag, he left early and we had a late evening flight to catch. And he says, oh, I've reached the airport, I'm boarding. And I said, fantastic. And I said, do you realize you left your track pants, your leather jacket, and also socks? And I said, oh, I did not realize. And he is just an example of many Gen Zs that I meet often in the recruitment process or in a meeting like this. They know exactly what they want. The world doesn't matter to them. They're highly focused, highly talented, but if it is not in line with what they want in life, they don't care. They don't get attracted, they don't get lured. And I think that's something that we are learning about them. It's fascinating. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing. Paramveer, over to you. Thank you so much for joining. I know it's not easy. With your help, you made it. Thank you so much.
See, I think everybody have a different definition of Gen Zs, and we see those examples in our day-to-day life in corporates. Especially recruiting perspective, every year we need to hire a fresh talent. They are much more smarter and much more wiser than the previous batch. We all feel that I think this batch is better, but we feel that we have done the good hiring even past as well. But every batch gets with some sort of intelligence and new learnings, or of course they are much smarter. So I have that clear difference in my home as well. I have a daughter which is 15.5 years old, and I have a son as well. He's 5.5 years old. So there's a good difference in that. And I can see a huge difference the way my daughter was thinking when she was a kid, and my son is thinking a different way. Even my daughter, she's a Gen Z, but again, very focused on her work. Schooling. So when we asked her, are you done with the study? She said it's hardly 2 hours for me to read through it. How? She's using ChatGPT and everything to just go through the whole book just in 2 hours time. That's a difference. And we are in the era where we are still reading some books of 500 pages. We still carry those books while traveling to airplanes or wherever. So we keep reading those books. And the same way my son, so when I ask him to do something, so he feels that why to do it? It's not required. So he said it's a past, it's a history. Hemant was saying, there's a time when we used to watch the Ramayana, Mahabharata on Sunday mornings. We get prepped up, ready, ensure that we are sitting on the chair and we are watching it completely. I think my daughter have seen that just in 3 days' time with the some of the videos she has seen that she knows the entire in and out of the Ramayana and Mahabharata now. That's the era which we talk about. The Gen Z are much, much, much smarter. But at the same time, we don't need to scare about. We need to be proud and happy that our next generations are much more happier. And now again, that depends, how they will take up their own future. Like Hemant said that they are smarter, and the way Athrik said that they know a lot of stuff by knowledge, but at the same time, they have to be a little more focused, more curious about the real crux of the thing which will make their own career, and they have to choose a one career rather jumping their career every 6 months doing something of the different, which I feel that Gen Zs are much faster and they're getting bored much faster.
Amazing. Yes. Sony, over to you.
Hi, it's nice to be here. The first time I heard the word Gen Z, I was literally like, what's this new trend? Because every season there is some trend that comes in the market. I know it's not fair to use a word. That got me curious to understand Gen Z. The only thing that after understanding a little bit, because we are still, so as the Gen Z is going, psychologists, HRs, everybody in the human space is just going along with it. So we have not been able to uncover the field completely. We are making, like it's like standing at different corners of the elephant and saying the elephant has big legs or no, one part of the elephant, right? So for me, even now, what is this next trend? But one thing that I have been able to understand, because I, as a transition coach, I help people, be it young, old, middle, it doesn't matter to me who. In the conversation, what I've understood that was very rare in the previous generation was the willingness to explore. In the previous generation, mine or even older generation, it was about livelihood, period. Now, livelihood is important, but as both of them said, more than that, am I fitting in here? These were questions that our generation or the older generation asked maybe 40, 50. They're asking very young. That's the one thing where in whichever socio-economical space that I talk to youngsters, this is one thing that I've been able to identify. So my first thought was, what is this next trend? That was my first reaction the minute I heard the word Gen Z. And now we're all rallying behind the word, but I think it's more to look at, rather than looking at them as a unicorn, these are things that are in us also. How can we reflect what's in us so that we can connect with them? So that's my thought.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Next question to Parambir Singh. Now, there is a misconception whenever there is a new trend, when it comes in, and especially in every organization, I would say, because now we definitely know from the audience and even from the panel, if you look at, we have different walks of life, different diversified industries. For example, we have been talking about tech, future of tech, AI, and so on, and there is old age traditional organization who are in the industry for 100+ years still follow the same protocol which they have to hire one single talent for their organization. It goes up to the managing director of the company for a signature to release an offer, even in 2025, right? I'm just giving an example, right? What is the one significant misconception in general when it comes to Gen Z across different industries?
So I think one of the misconception have it that, I'll tell you maybe the both sides. One is the corporate
Please.
side and the student side as well.
Yes.
So corporate side, which students are thinking that we are using a lot of AI tools and there will be a lot of rigor, a lot of scrutiny and a lot of, hard efforts to require to crack the test and crack the interviews. Which I believe as we speak today, not really. Corporates are using some bit of AI tool, but still at the very preliminary stage from the India industry perspective. It's not very advanced where we are thoroughly putting AI to identify the persona what is required for the organization. There are certain aspects which we are using, but still not at that extent. And at the same time, when we look at from the corporate perspective, I have done a lot of hiring from IITs, IIMs, BIS Pilanis of the world, I think for the last 10+ years, extensively looking at hiring across these campuses while part of any of the last jobs. Trust me, when we look at the pool, when we ask the campus to give us some sort of basic, well, I'm telling you the real story, what exactly happens in the corporate where we see that, how we do hire the best talent pool. So we ask the campus to give us some format of the data, which we always have our own format, but even if they have their own formation, we don't mind that because we can hardly put a script and change that in our format hardly in 10 seconds. So we ask the data, we look at it, how much pool is relevant to us, and We put some filters out there. We ask the people to go through online tests, interviews. We are done, right? So that's how we do that. And that is my recent one, which we have just finished in the month of Jan-Feb for this cohort of 2025. So entire last year and till Jan-Feb this year, we have done this hiring from the campuses. So when we look at it, have we done absolutely different or absolutely one which is not being practiced of my life for the last few years? Not really. So we are interacting with the Gen Zs. One thing I have changed for the last few years, let's not look at the skill set what we need to hire. Look at more of a competence what we need to evaluate, because the technology stacks changing almost every 2-3 years. But if we have the good mindset on the floor, I think half of the game is over. So even when we are looking at a Gen Zs, when you look at the top campuses as well, our primary focus is always to have a good problem solving skills, find out talent who have a good strong analytical skills, find out the people who are more humble, have a right attitude of learning as well. So I think these are a few things what we do hire. And that's what I do hire for the last 5+ years. So even when we look at the Gen Zs, I think the company's moral values are same. Even if the values which has been the standardized for the organization for the last 30 years, that will continue for another 30 more years, right? So when we are finding out the talent, is that aligned with my organization values? If yes, we do hire. So absolutely no difference from corporate side as well.
Interesting. Thank you. I'll come back to you. Lakshmi, over to you. In my grandmom's, grandpa's days, there was just black and white when we talk about anything, when it comes to offer and everything, right? Every walks of life. And in between, in our journey, we would have seen gray as well. And now we are going back to black and white, because today our Gen Z or the future of work is, whether it is black or white, authenticity plays a vital role. Having said, today as part of culture, in terms of branding, in terms of positioning, irrespective of whatever pressure we have across the industry, are we overdoing something to build a culture?
Okay, so I think when it comes to Gen Z, it can't be a hard selling that you do. It will have to be a story that the company is saying over a period of time, right? And because they are very highly sensitive to authenticity, it's about, for example, when the company wants to showcase, that they have opportunities and they want to attract talent. And when they're looking at this cohort, they have to not do a point in time campaign, right? It has to be a story saying, when you're saying sustainability, right? When you're saying growth, then how do you pick up your previous batches that you've hired either from campus, your multi-generational workforce, etc., where there are success stories of how people have grown or how you're contributing to the society, etc. So a hard selling point in time across the counter kind of a branding will not work. When they see more of you, because we all know that Gen Z is very, very adept with social media. So when they consistently see that the brand is delivering, again, a consistent message about the culture that reflects the authenticity. And the other thing is, when you are going to a campus, like Param said, or when you are doing an interviewing process, the interviewer also, be it technical, behavioral, etc., should basically behave in a way that is aligning with the brand that they have seen, let's say, on social media. So it can't be like I say, respect, ingenuity, and when I come here, I don't see any of those, I'm late to the interview. So that's the thing, I think, which, Hemant and Ativik were talking about, purpose. And so in every experience that they have, pre-joining, during the joining, post-joining, if the company and the brand is able to deliver that consistently, then I think we've won them over, is what I feel.
Can I just add quickly?
Please, yes.
One quick story I had that time that I'm talking about during my just recent campus visit. So we presented ourselves pretty well for half an hour organizational presentation, and then we talked about what sort of overall work we had that. And one smart kid, he stood up, he said that what will be, if I will be hired in your organization, what will my role responsibilities? So we, again, the business leader again gave him some good gyan for another 5 minutes time. He purposely asked, did I answer your question? And kid said no. So, that sort of audacity is, and the sort of guts those people have, that and we still don't have those. So I asked the business leader, I said he just really wanted to check in case he will be hired, which project he will be deployed and what sort of a work will look like. Business leader said we have 2 or 3 projects. He said that's okay, but I said, even if we can explain at least one. So without naming our core work, without giving them the core problems, still you can define the day-to-day life look like for a coder when somebody will join my organization. Then they explained that. And then I asked the question, I said, did we answer your question now? He said yes. So that means they are absolutely through what they really would like to achieve in their life. You come here for the presentation, that's good. It's a tier 1 campus, that's not the only one organization who's coming over. So they just really want to check what role they have, that if they are aligned, not aligned. Not aligned, they're walking out. If they're aligned, they'll still sit and continue the interview process.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Go ahead, go
Yes,
ahead.
yes, Hemant, please.
Just wanted to add on, like, I will not call it Audacity, but then they call a spade and spade, And I've seen a lot of examples, earlier, when I did BTech 2005, I'll be put into .NET, Java, client-server architect, and a bit of mainframe. No questions asked. Neither this party nor that party will ask any question, and your career is an accidental career path. You'll get into something which you never thought, like, as a BTech guy, I'll be doing that. These days, people are very clear, and second year of their BTech, they are already started doing, a lot of internships, a lot of startup work, freelancing, gig economy. Catalant is a platform. They will have complete awareness about the company that they're sitting for. They'll go to Fistbowl, Glassdoor, Reddit reviews, Mouseshut, whatever platform is there. So no matter how much hard selling you do, authenticity matters to them, and they will get the data point, ask you the question. No, I mean, you're talking about open door policy, work-life balance, but something like this has happened in your company, and we've seen those things happening. So they are point blank, what they want, why they want, and if that's not met, you are off the radar.
So, Gautam, over to you. Please don't mind. Right from my school days, my classmates, when I was doing my 12th grade, they have appeared for interview, cleared, got opportunity and joined your organization. My college graduates, my college graduates during my graduation program joined the company, grown extremely well. You have seen one of the best classic organizations where an organization has seen the best disruptions of the world, right? And for Gen Z, this is not something new for an organization like Sutherland Global, right? Having said, today we are talking about differentiator. In spite of all the disruptions which you have seen, in spite of all the challenges you have seen and made a great impact in the industry, right? How do you still maintain the differentiator, and what is the differentiator when it comes to your TA hiring? Hope you got it?
Yeah, I'm just paraphrasing. Too many
Yes.
questions. Okay.
Simple. How you are
Okay.
a differentiator today?
Okay, so trends, like a horse, is easy to ride in the direction they are going. And it's easy to get captivated by the trends that you observe in the market. What differentiates us today and how we are trying to be relevant in the industry is by applying creative and critical thinking. And we avoid all the critical thinking killers. What exactly is critical thinking? It is not your natural way of thinking. We avoid certain very clear aspects in identifying talent. First and second one is the one that you already covered, is that there's no black and white all the time. It does not have to be I'm supporting him or I'm rejecting him. Likewise, we don't like labeling candidates. Hey, he is a Gen Z, that means he would like to work from home. That's labeling people. Now, if you understand the way it is structured, today we are not only hiring Gen Zs, but we are also hiring a previous generation. There are certain roles where you need people with experience. A good balance is to understand the difference first and create an ecosystem which can balance both. Now, the generation, what we are talking today is generation, the Gen Zs. Before that, the generation came through an information innovation kind of an environment. For them, if there's any perk an organization can provide to upgrade their lifestyle, the employer could buy loyalty from these employees. Because they were into an information revolution. They wanted to know more. They wanted to know how lifestyle can change with being employed. Gen Zs, on the other hand, is into social innovation. Okay? They already have everything that we did not have. They like work-life balance more than what we did. We heard stories from everybody. Oh, you go to become a developer, I'm okay, because who's going to pick up a battle with an employer? And I think all our strategies today differentiates when we hire a Gen Z versus when we don't hire a Gen Z. We might have more than 50% of our workforce today which is Gen Zs. I'm sure all of you agree. But there are also employees who are not Gen Zs. We just cannot say, okay, now this is going to be important and rest of you possibly will have to take a back seat. And I think what we try to do here, we visualize when we do our critical thinking exercise, and we were to plot a heat map of what a candidate is looking from an employer. And you just close your eyes and think about a heat map which is very important, important, not so important. Most of the time, Gen Zs will pick being valued by the manager and employer as the first very important aspect in their employment today. Below that possibly would be quality of work, which Hemant covered, and most of you will agree that, hey, what is my job? I'm a programmer or a coder or a developer or a software development, maybe a team. Now what happens that when you look at that angle of people, and somewhere at the intersection of very important and important will be the career advancement and learning opportunity. In fact, if you search now and see what's the percentage of Gen Zs who would like to take career advancement and development as a part of their next employer's, maybe the opportunity, more than 60% of them will say that. So they're not coming in your organization to stay forever. We say attrition is a timing defect. Here the timing defect is too fast and too frequent. But they want to learn and upgrade. And that's why, going back to the points that we made earlier, we are looking at reskilling them. We are not looking at a raw talent, extremely good with programming, and stay as a programmer for the rest of his tenure. Hence, we look at a lot more aspects, attributes which were never evaluated. When I gave my first job, the question was, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? How many of you find that funny today? Right? Okay. So
No, we are talking about 10 days now.
10 days, right? So yeah, so the fact is, the bottom line is that today we have to give them very clear line of sight and authenticity, which is non-negotiable. And I think we are able to do that regularly. That's why some of the programs that we measure, we have 0% of 0 to 90 days attrition in the digital program that I run globally. 0% attrition in first 90 days, which is not very easy to maintain, but I think we are able to be authentic. I'll give you just one quick example before I wrap. Is
Sure.
that a lot of companies will say we are a digital transformation company. All of you agree? Just to ensure you're listening, I just want to see. Okay. Okay, I still see 25%. Okay. Okay. Okay, how many of you have seen floppy disk, physical floppy disk? I just asked just to ensure you are engaged, okay? Okay, but not so very Gen Z crowd. They have seen a floppy disk, okay? Okay, so what we do is, we say we are a digital transformation company and say, okay, very good, apply with us. And when you apply, you upload your resume, then they ask question, what's your first name? What's your last name? What's your date of birth? And you say, we live in 2025, where a dating app can find a suitable match from 2 billion possibilities in less than 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Why in the hell you're asking my name? That's what I gave in the resume. So I think the point we are trying to drive here is, you cannot say you're a digital transformation company and you're still taking resumes in Word format and asking them to fill a form. You have to exhibit that quality at every step, at every interaction, with every ambassador that you have in the company has to talk digital. And that's how you will be able to build that kind of EVP with the candidate. They'll trust you. They might not join you, but they will still trust you and say, hey, I think I see a future here, and they might be able to get on board faster. So not very technical aspect, but yeah, this is how we are able to get still good talent for our organization. Thank you.
Well said, well said. Thank you. Sony, over to you. Now, we have been talking about hiring strategies, and he clearly mentioned, gone are those days, we hire talent for lifelong, right? And what we see in the traditional organizations and all this while. So, should we shift from long term to short term? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So, I think where I am positioned that is different from all 4 of you or 5 of you is, I am from the other side of the desk. That means I am looking at the under the hood. The people that come to you, when they come to me, they are in that anxiety of transition, figuring out, right? So as I was sharing earlier, one thing that I will have to say is that they're willing to take, explore, or as Sir rightfully put it, they have the audacity, again, not the right word, audacity to say, I do not understand. I think most of us sitting here would not have told that to the recruiter. So they are willing to bet on themselves. That means, see, when we talk about purpose, in my line of work, we talk about purpose and stuff like that. When we talk about purpose, purpose is not always a singular point that you want to reach. And when you're willing to explore and expand how far you can go with your life, one point may not be enough. So to answer Charles's question, from my experience talking, helping them in that transition, what I've learned is definitely looking at short-term approach to how new talent comes in would be a very wise way. When I use the word short-term, it doesn't mean that they're going to stay with your company for a short-term and leave. How can you retain them to feel engaged, renewed, challenged again, or even fuel their thinking about their purpose? That would be a nice way to go forward, is my thought.
Thank you, Sony. Since time is running short, maybe let's have it very short, brief answers. Hemant, over to you. Now, in spite of all this, what role do micro credentials and unconventional education pattern can really reshape the hiring criteria?
Yeah, so India as an economy and talent marketplace is evolving. Having said that, if you ask me, we are betting on micro learning, like, you will do AWS certification or a Microsoft Azure certification or a Google Cloud Platform certification. Classic case, the guy was a BBA plus MBA. He's been betting that, I am qualified for an architect role of a MuleSoft development, and team reached out to me asking that, give me a waiver on the education criteria, which was BTech plus something. I said, go for it, because, if the guy has done 3 rounds, your senior architects have reviewed, approved, I'll not bet on the degree. 10 years back, when I was in Middle East, the industry was not about degree. It was all about, I have paid you for doing a job. If you can deliver for the job, you are in for that. India as a geography, still you have abundance of talent. A lot of gating criteria that 60% plus BTech plus XYZ, tier 1 college, tier 1 companies. But I think the world is moving towards micro-based learning. You learn on the run, just in time, deliver that thing, have various no-code, low-code kind of learning platforms. You have, and we are partnering with these platforms like Upgrad. We are partnering with. We are doing this Zyme.ai note taker for my sales guys to do an amazing pitch. After 10,000 odd pitches for their sales pitch to various clients, we'll be able to get analytics that who is doing what on what parameter and how they can improvise. So I think just-in-time learning, micro-based learning, bootcamp learning are the way forward.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would like to just add and share my thoughts on unconventional hiring. I'm sure you would have heard about a company called Zoho, made in India, made for the world, a 30-year-old company roughly. And no, I'm a strong believer, irrespective of whatever position, whatever role, whatever designation, whichever organization, institution we belong and come from, a single man can make a huge, huge impact in every walks of life. I'm a strong believer on that. Having said, Sony knows me. The reason for sharing, there is a story behind. I was a last bench student throughout my career. I failed in 9th, I failed in 12th, waited for September attempt, I failed in my college, I failed in my career, and so on till this while. Now I've been trying to excel and move forward in life. One thing I've learned, in all this journey, I wanted to become a dosa master. Because in life, in our so-called education system in our country, I'm sorry to say this, our education system didn't teach us a contextual. Are you with us? A relevant and an experiential learning. Right? Look at a dosa master. Simple. He will get the marble with 45 degree of sun in Chennai, with so much of sweat, hot pan, again so much of heat, sweat. I failed in 9th just because of faculties felt that no, I'm not deserved for 10th. For one single silly reason, on a lighter note. When I become a dosa master, when my faculty get into my restaurant, they used to call me, they should call me as master. That silly reason. Number 2, I wanted to escape from the education system. We are talking about Gen Z, the future of work. And I told my dad, I can create 150 varieties of dosa with that maavu flour. Just 1 cup, put it nicely, I can get nice dosa. Pudi dosa, keema, butter, cheese, chocolate, what not. Contextual, relevant, and experiential learning, a skill says it all. Right? Every industry looking for a talent with skill. Right? We will tell you how to execute things, learn the art of engineering. Today in our education system, 4 years of mechanical engineering student not able to fix a pump set in his residence. A mom who has never been to an institution in a college fixing the pump set during COVID. That is the country we belong to. Right? Yes. Why I'm saying this? We both were last bench students even in our PG degree. From zero, from failure, I did my master's program not to please anybody, for myself. I got the art of contextual, relevant, and experiential learning from a prestigious institute in Chennai, 175-year-old college. That gave what contextual, relevant, and experiential learning what I'm referring to. Coming back to the organization, 30-year-old organization from Tamil medium, Padma Shri Dr. Sridhar Vembu, founder of Zoho, from a small town, from Tamil medium, came to college, from non-tech, went to different parts of the world, saw mobile, laptop, computer, whatnot. Every product had a stamp which was made in some other country. He finally took his he went to his drawer, took his nail cutter, made in some other country. So much of anger became the dream. Today, more than $1 billion company. 18,000 employees. In all these 30 years, zero layoff. Zero layoff. Zero finance. Self-sustained SaaS organization. Started in a small town in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, Tenkasi, the remote parts of Tamil Nadu. What I have learned from this journey, in this 20 years of my journey, one of the beautiful initiatives which Zoho initiated was Zoho Schools of Learning, an alternative to the conventional hiring. 12th dropout, we went to a nearby school, took about 6 students with trust. Soon after they 12th. Today in India, the biggest and beautiful thing of our parents are, they are ready to sell their kidney and give a degree for their kids. Right? And that's the country we live in, and we are proud about it. Whether it's right or wrong, that's secondary. But in spite of all this, 6 parents trusted us. And today, out of 18,000 employees, easily 30 to 40% of our employees have come through unconventional hiring. I don't want to take much time, but I would like to give one classic example. We all are HRs. Yes, you will agree. Whenever a resume hard copy comes to you, it'll be in a bin. Because we can't manage how many documents we can have it. Today we are talking about digitization and so on, but still in 2025 we get hard copy of the resumes. Post-COVID, just 2-3 years back, I can give thousands of stories like this, but I would like to give one story since it's closely connected to the unconventional hiring. I've been to Pondicherry. I mean, invited by the acting governor of that particular place for a job fair. 2 days job fair, second day after 6 o'clock of the job, once the job fair ended, I left the campus. While leaving sunset time, I saw the beautiful garden. I waited there, came out, take a selfie. One guy ran and came to me, said, "Sir, can I help you with a photograph?" I said, yes. He was with full of sweat. Shirt was not his fit size, a smaller one. He was like, completely, drained with, heat, sun there the whole day, I guess. And while leaving, he asked my number. So I gave my visiting card to him. That night, he has sent a message, "Sir, hope you have reached safe." But I saw that message only after a month or so, because so many WhatsApp messages which we get is just good morning, good night. I don't know why those guys are sending good morning, good night, right? One fine day I saw, replied to his message. To cut the story short, my dear friends, in my entire life journey, before getting my visiting card, that gentleman, that guy, in my 21 years of my experience, I've never seen a resume. In my 21 years of my experience, I have never seen an infographic resume. I've seen infographic. I've never seen an infographic resume like his. Beautifully done. Just one single page of his resume. That attracted me. He came with empty hand, but his resume was like this. From his shirt, took his resume and gave it to me. I didn't even have a feel to open that resume, but I completely gone through his resume. And I invited him for a casual discussion to our campus. Today, in Zoho, in one of our product wing, he is the Chief Design Officer. Chief Design Officer of a world-class company, my dear friends. From the same team, from the same organization, we have the IITs and IIMs of the world, Harvards of the world. My dear friends, as Hemant said, talents are everywhere. Are we using our brain? Are we using our common sense? Are we using our heart? Are we using our Spain to take a bold decision to be a differentiator? Before moving to the last rapid fire question, I would like to get one or two questions, if you have any, to any of the panel members. No, I created a proxy here. I'm searching her. Question marandutala. Please. Any? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Any questions? If not, no, I have last closing questions. I'll go with it. Anyone? 3, 2, 1. No? Okay. Closing notes. Now, we'll have fancy names like Gen Z, A, B, C, D. Same with AI, BI, CI. Same with Oracle, Sengal, Purangal, whatever. We'll learn lifelong learning and so on, irrespective of all the buzz. I'm sure everybody got legacy of experience from your industry, from yourself, from your previous journey, right from Gautam. Take now 30 seconds to share simple lines about your philosophy about future of work.
Future of work is going to be transformational but equally adventurous. Things that we have never imagined is going to be part of our work. And we would experience where we will learn from machines and machine will learn from us. And it's going to be a cohesive relationship. And I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful time together, learning from each other and also giving back to society. So I think it's going to be very, very adventurous.
Hemant.
So I'm heading people data analytics reporting. So we're trying about trends that will shape up future of work. I think the way it will be culmination of change in the nature of work, workplace, and workforce. We'll have a lot of people. Generation is just one part of the story. It will have, I want half day, half pay, 2-hour work, contract working, EOR. A lot of things will change. You'll not have work for 5 years, 10 years pedigree. You'll be looking for, do this project for 5 months, 6 months max, do that ROI, get the salary or whatever that you are looking for, equity, and keep moving on. So upskill, reskill, be relevant to now than thinking about what will happen 10 years down the line. AI, with the Gen AI advent and getting into agentic AI, 30% of work will change wherein they're supposed to be an assistant. The human angle will continue to be there. I'm not talking about HR, but I'm saying in general, agents will be there sitting next to you doing the job. So all those things are kind of looking very promising.
Thank you, Ahmed. Lakshmi, just one add-on. Let's be selfish, guys. Let's not talk about future of workforce alone. Let's focus for our HR fraternity as well, right? For me as a HR leader, your thoughts as well.
Sure. So I think for the HR community, it is going to only be more meaningful work. Now, what meaning each of us create by leaving behind, the mundane, repetitive tasks is left up to us. I won't say that, it's going to be a wave and all the jobs will go, but I think each of us have to create and take the lead of what meaningful work that we want to go. So when you want to go as a business HR partner to the business, you should consider yourself as a part of the business who is doing the sales and think and act like them. So a bit of psychology, a bit of sales, a bit of branding, marketing, all of that come. So if we are basically going to be on the driving seat on how we want to create the meaningful work. We can be in any organization, big, small, startup, etc. But I think the upskilling, reskilling, which Hemant also mentioned about, is completely the onus is on us. And we just need to get started with that journey is what I feel.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi.
Maybe just in 10 seconds.
Please.
Let me be shorter. So I think one thing we need to always drive it to hire the talent for the skill, not for the roles, and look for a good problem solvers. I think that will solve your most of the problems.
Amazing, amazing. Sony, an add-on. Today, it's more of who you are as a human, right? Your thoughts to the human leaders.
You took the word out of my mouth. So, celebrating life. When I said 20 years ago, that's what I want to do, I want to help people celebrate their life, most of them looked at me, are you crazy? But now, when you speak to many young potential candidates, one of their point or the beating heart is, how can they live their full life? So to my fellow HRs, one of the thoughts that I want to share is, I've always challenged this in the corporate world, that is, we created a compartment called work-life balance, which is a lie. There's only life. It's not work-life balance, it's life. And how can we integrate all the different parts of life and live a full life? Whatever philosophies, psychologists and human behaviorists discovered 20 years ago, 10 years ago, is a reality now. As an HR community, I joined HR so that most people spend most of their living life after their education is the workplace. How can we make a workplace become not only for livelihood, not only meaning alone, but also wellness that will impact the larger society? If as HRs, as communities, we can think with our hearts of celebrating life, I think we can bring about a huge change.
Thank you so much. I don't want to summarize, but I would like to share 3 lines alone, when I conclude, my dear friends. One thing which I have learned in my 21 years of my journey, and especially when I address HR leaders, my humble request would be selfish, take care of yourself. You have been taking care of thousands and lakhs of employees. My humble request would be, please ensure that you and your family is taken care well. Number 2, HR is more about handling emotions, handle with care. HR is not just about handling resources. HR is more about handling emotions, handle with care. Number 3, finally, future of work, future of Gen Z or whatever. Like in the style of Kamal Haasan, I would say, in Kamal Haasan in Big Boss, he used to say in Tamil, Edirparadade Edirparangal, means expect the unexpected. That's the future of work. Wonderful audience. Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for all the panel members who have been with us. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Charles. Thank you.